Go. Hi guys, welcome to another special episode of the Real Football Talk Champions League special, and congratulations to Real Madrid for winning the 14th Champions League title. That's right, 14, double any other team's accomplishment really, and Ancelotti winning it for the fifth time. Commiseration to Liverpool for losing out in the final after their brave effort. Adil, initial reaction, what do you make of that? I mean, that Real Madrid team, man, how do they keep doing it? If you look at that running. Oh.
Yeah, arguably, I think the hardest running I've known in knockout football. I mean, you knock out PSG, Chelsea, the reigning champions, Man City, and then Liverpool. I mean, and you could say, other than Bayern Munich, they knocked out every big team going.
Yeah.
Every strong team left in the competition.
Bear in mind, everyone said this is one of the worst Real Madrid teams.
Yeah, 100%. And what a phenomenal achievement. I mean, the thing is, let's put this into context. You've spoken about how this Real Madrid team wasn't the strongest, but let's put it into real context. At the start of the season, they didn't spend no money.
They're
in debt. Yeah, they're in severe debt. Everyone's thinking it's the demise of Spanish league, Spanish football. Real Madrid, Barcelona,
100%.
Really struggling financially. Barcelona's getting rid of Messi. Real Madrid are in financial thingy. They're doing their stadium up again. They got no money. They got the last players they brought were Alaba and Camavinga.
Alaba was free and Camavinga was, yeah.
So, and then and then the other thing is, and now looking at hindsight, you have to rate it, is they pluck Ancelotti from Everton, an Everton team that finished below 10th or something.
Yeah.
In the Premiership, and you're thinking, what the heck? Like, what are they seeing here? Yeah. And we all criticize Florentino Perez, but at the end of the day, there's no denying the guy is successful, and he does everything unconventional way. You don't even understand the wisdom of half of what he does. But does his team turn up for the Champions League?
But it works every single time. It works every single time.
Yeah, but you look at that squad. Some of the better players didn't even play. You think about it, like their big name, Bale, Hazard, haven't been a factor
on the bench.
They're not even the guys they're turning to. And then you got, they're just a phenomenal team, man. You got to, and
go on, how they finish it now.
I'm just thinking, is there a team that is better at playing second halves of matches? I mean, every single game Ancelotti does slight changes in tactics after halftime, and they totally dominate the second half most games, or the last 20 minutes. Is their team better at finishing off games? There isn't, because they won the whole Champions League on second half comebacks.
And this is what I was gonna say. Like, for me as a player, just watching other players like the midfielders and stuff, and the intelligence you see. It's not the big things, it's the little things, the way they beat the press, the touch they do to beat the press, or the touch they take depending on the situation, where he knows he pushes it forward so much so that if he touches him, it's a foul. If he doesn't touch him, he's going through, as in going past him. So he's beating the press. And it's just those little details in the management of oh man, like Modric, Cruz, Casemiro, all of these guys, it was just a joy to see.
Yeah, I mean, the know-how of the players is phenomenal. But the thing I like marvel at the most is the way these guys are larger than life characters. You see it in the big games, the big moments. None of them are hiding. Let's go to the Liverpool team. There was a lot of players that hit today, I felt. I felt a lot of players hit today, and I'm not talking about, it's easy just to say, the defending was poor for the goal, and the few times Madrid attacked, Liverpool's defending did look suspect. But put that aside, some of those players were terrible in attack as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Everyone's going to gun Trent for the goal. There's question mark in his defending, but he was actually poor on the ball all game today.
Yep.
The amount of times he played past his first time under no pressure, he's trying to quicken up the pace and he just gives it straight away. He was terrible in his strength, which is attacking. So he was actually poor in attacking. Van Dijk, I've been saying for quite a few weeks, has been poor defensively for a long time. He didn't lay a glove on Benzema.
Nah.
Benzema
won the battle every single time. I do. He won the battle every single time.
He didn't even pressure. He didn't even go close. He just stayed. Gave him so much respect.
Konate was good though.
You got Eder Militao celebrating every clearance. You got Alba playing with composure. You got Carvajal absolutely manhandling Luis Diaz. Everyone been talking about Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz looked like a kid today. The way Carvajal was just getting his arms across, manhandling him, he could have handled that old school, rough type of defending.
But it's
you look at the amount of players that just come out of their shell in the Casemiro. I thought he had a terrible first half. Just a lion in the second half.
Yeah.
Absolute lion. And then the thing is, as soon as they went a goal up, they level up.
Whole thing, yeah.
They play with more heart, more passion, more composure. They're just big game players, man.
This is the thing. I thought, even before, Klopp was talking about the mentality, the mentality monsters and stuff, so on and so forth. I was like, where is that? I want to see it. This is the time to show,
Yeah, let's play. Who turned up from the Liverpool? I thought Fabinho played really good the whole game. First half, Thiago did.
I thought Konate was good.
Konate was amazing.
I thought he was solid, very aggressive.
Mane first half was really good. He was okay even in second half, and that was it. There's a lot of players who did not turn up today. And when you look at the Madrid team, did they get outplayed in the first half? That first 40 minutes, yeah, they did. But guess what?
They knew that was given.
Mendy played good. Courtois played good. Alba played good. Militao turned up. Carvajal turned up. Cruz was a bit. I wouldn't say he was that good today.
I felt he was leggy, and I was surprised when they took
He didn't look that good today, and he was poor in the first half. I mean, the way he was in no man's land in that first hand. The way the Mane and Salah just picking up the ball in the gaps he's leaving. That was poor. Modric turned out. Casemiro second half turns out. Benzema always turns out. Valverde, what a player!
Yeah, wow.
And then you go, Vinicius, awesome.
But he's playing. Valverde's actually played. I know he's played a lot there in the wing, but he's actually playing out of position because he's originally a centre mid.
Yeah, but and that's what I mean. Their players turn up and play the big. They're not afraid of the big.
Did you hear the press conference on Courtois the day before? He said, when Real Madrid turn up to a final, we win. And they backed it.
And the thing is, he backed himself. He's saying, I'm going to turn up, I'm going to perform, and I ain't no one scoring past me.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, is he being too arrogant here? And look, pulls that man of the match performance.
He backed
the save for Mane was an excellent save because it's semi going the other way.
Yeah, the whole body.
Then you got, the save for, all right, save for Salah's one was good, solid. But the second one, the right foot one, I mean, another thing people haven't realized is you have to give credit to Ferland Mendy. He got a touch on that ball. It might have been going in off the post.
Yeah.
But thingy makes it, with that slight touch, makes it a bit more manageable for Courtois to save. But that's what this Real Madrid team have. They have grit. And just alone for beating those four teams, you have to say, I don't care that maybe in every single one of them for 75 minutes of those games, they were the second best team. At the end of the day, when it comes down to they turn up.
Yeah, they do.
They turn up. They hang in there. They show heart, and then when they decide to go gun ho,
But
they get goals.
it's not like sometimes they might say, oh, it's 11, like park the bus. It's not really even, you can't say it's even park the bus. You still enjoy the stuff they're doing, because some of the stuff they're still doing to beat the opposition's press and the way to beat whatever the opposition's doing is so intelligent.
No, not really. I don't know. I disagree. I watched all of those games, and I felt, yeah, second half is intelligent, but that's not them. That's Ancelotti's adjustments. And yeah, I mean, like, we'll go with tactics on later, but I genuinely believe that the way Ancelotti, he set this team up, and he's got nicely nuances that he's taught them for different types of teams. And second half, it was really intelligent what they did. The slight adjustments, not everyone noticed, but it made a huge difference to the game, because it opened up the game for Real Madrid, and suddenly Liverpool's press. How many times did they win it back in the first half? Nearly every single time the high press worked. Second half, it didn't. Why? Because of the slight changes that we'll highlight. But
we'll go into that.
Ancelotti is really good at it.
I was going to ask you one question before we go really get into the tactics and nitty-gritty. What did you make of that goal just before the halftime? Well, disallowed goal. Right decision?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's a tackle and not a pass. So it doesn't matter if it comes off a Liverpool player. I mean, I would, when you're going for a tackle, are you now going to start saying he's making a play on the ball? He's tackling the ball and it's come off his left knee.
That took ages. At one stage I thought, the reason they take so long, it must be a goal, or do you know what I mean?
I was surprised the original ball over the top was offside. That looked offside at the beginning, but
yeah, I don't think
Benzema is Benzema. I mean, he knows how to stay onside. I don't know. I think he runs naturally on the angle, but I don't think he can run straight line. But however he runs, for some reason, it always looks offside, but it's actually on.
Yeah. What is it? That's his fifth Champions League, isn't it? Benzema's.
Yeah, his fifth. Marcelo's fifth. Carvajal's fifth.
Carvajal, yeah. Wow. Wow. Modric as well.
And Gareth Bale's fifth.
Wow, forgotten man. Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
I think
Ballon d'Or, Benzema Ballon d'Or now. That guarantees.
100%. I mean, is there a guy who's influenced games more? I mean, what he's doing right now for Real Madrid this season reminds me of the way Ronaldo sometimes carries a team, where just Herculean performances. It's like and he's done that. I mean, he really is the leader of that team. The sets the tone, and he does it in that way where he just gives you a stare. It doesn't say it, just gives you that stare. There's one point with someone, the team didn't push up, and he didn't have options. So when he turned back on the ball, he didn't have options. He just gave the midfielders the stare. Next thing you know, they're pushing up the pitch.
They knew.
That's just leadership, isn't it? And you've seen it in the whole campaign, the way he's talking, the passion, the pressing. The amount of times he took the ball under pressure today, and a lot of all the best play, a lot of the time came when he picked it up.
Yeah.
Other than that, with Madrid, I was quite critical of their first half, because I actually felt they were a bit one-dimensional. They were just trying to play the cross ball Vinicius the whole time. It's so easy to read, and it's so predictable what they're trying to do. And yeah, they didn't have much variation. And that last half,
do you think it was a ploy just to make Liverpool think that's all they got and then just change up? I mean, if we look into the
that was their tactic. They wanted to expose Trent. But the thing was, they weren't coming up against Trent. I mean, the brave thing and the good thing that Liverpool did was they left Konate with him, and they let, so many times Trent was pressing Ferland Mendy. That's how aggressive Liverpool were with the press. So I think you have to give credit to Liverpool for their first 40 minutes. I mean, that's They completely dominated the game. Completely should have really had a couple of goals up.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
before the game started, I built this matchup as the match of the two most clinical teams in football right now, because these are teams where a lot of the times this season uh, they're on the back foot, and then the one chance they go up the pitch, they end up
I
taking
do.
the lead.
But today, Liverpool,
And,
like 24 shots compared to Madrid's 4.
yeah, and 9 on target, and Courtois
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of them I thought Courtois was phenomenal. The others were just straight at him.
Quite straight. Yeah. Yeah. And some, you know what? Some of the shots actually, I don't know whether it's nerves, whether it just didn't feel like there was any, like any conviction or anything to it.
But
It
that's what I
felt
mean.
rushed, and it felt like they're just hitting it for the.
But that's what I mean. The difference is the Real Madrid players turned up, and not really any of Liverpool's big boys turned up. I just thought, other than Fabinho, Mane played quite well. Thiago only in the first half. A lot of their big players just did not step up today. Henderson, where was he? In that dominating first half, he wasn't great. I mean, a couple of times he was on that right hand side, he done okay, but Robertson I thought was kind of terrible quite a few times, and we'll go over it for the goal.
Let's
But I was quite critical of Liverpool and quite a lot of the decisions they made. We've been saying it for weeks that even though Mane has been scoring and everyone's been raving about it, since they've taken Jota out the team, they've lost a big dimension.
That was going to be my question.
They've been struggling to win ever since they've taken Jota out of the team. And when you look at the way Real Madrid played so deep and defended so deep, it cost them, because Mane's strength is when the team goes higher up, and that's where he's got his goals, because he can run in behind. Yeah, he probably drops a bit deeper at linking up the play than Jota does, but that's when Jota is really good, because he can commit and be a bit of a target man.
I did. The first minute or so he came on, he almost got the assist.
Yeah.
I
still felt when they brought him on, it's a mistake to chuck him on the left.
Yeah,
they needed to bring him central.
I personally thought if he was in the middle, some of those crosses that, like, I think Salah got one and someone else missed one, I think he would have got into the end of one of them.
The thing is, you can't underestimate the impact of a poacher. And they haven't got anyone like that. You looked at mishit shot from Trent. Jota nearly diverted that. Another shot from Salah, he nearly diverted the other way. These are things that Jota is just very good at. He scored so many poachers' goals where he's just read where the ball's going to fall. And against a team that's defending deep, that's what you need. You need that. And even it baffled me that Firmino came on instead of Origi. You got a team defending that deep. You're playing so many crosses in. Militao's getting his head onto everything. Like, what do you think Mane is gonna? Half the time, Mane was even going for it or reading those headers, and they're just playing cross after cross. And then you bring Firmino on instead of Origi, who is big, strong, would have caused more problems. So I was critical while I was watching the game of a lot of the decisions that Klopp made today, which is obviously strange. Because he's been a phenomenal manager all season.
Klopp overthought it.
But it's easy to say because they lost. But even if they won, I would say if I had my coaching stroke manager cap on, I felt while I was watching it, these were obvious mistakes or obvious. It just seemed like common sense to make those decisions based on the game, not based on whether one player is better than the other, just it's based on the way Real Madrid were playing so deep and defending so deep. But I felt even the tactics at the start of the game did not play into the strengths of the Liverpool lineup. So overall, it's a strange game. Even though they dominated the game and the press was really good. Again, the adjustments just weren't there in the second half. The way
Let's
Real Madrid are able
let's
to make adjustments.
let's look into this. I mean, what went wrong, and what did Madrid do so well to counter?
Again, and just to reiterate, we're going into this with a lens of being hypercritical,
Yeah.
But obviously it doesn't take away from the fact that Liverpool did outplay Real Madrid first half.
Waiting for Adil to load up his mission.
I just went straight to the page, forgot to share screen.
There you go.
It's been too long since we've done this. You see?
Yeah, been a while
Yeah.
since we've done the tactical though.
Yes. So that's the basic setup of both teams. Again, both teams doing similar setup. Even in the first half, the tactics of both teams were quite similar in the first 15 minutes, especially. So both teams tried playing it. So this is the thing that was surprising. Is Real Madrid actually started the game playing a slightly higher line than they used to playing.
Usually do.
Yeah, what they usually do. So they were actually trying to dominate the game, and that's why I felt it was a mistake from Liverpool, because what they were doing, they kept doing the same tactics as Real Madrid, which is they're trying to play the ball over the top, especially with Diaz's run. So they're clearly trying to target Carvajal, and a couple of times they tried playing it over the top of Militao and Alaba. But again, it was Diaz making that diagonal run. But a lot of the time they're doing, so both teams were cancelling each other out in the sense that they're trying to do the same thing to each other, which is play the ball in over the top across the pitch, trying to expose the right backs. So obviously with Real Madrid, they go to Vinicius and Liverpool. So what happened was, because Liverpool kept playing the ball in behind here, in behind the back line, that forced the whole Real Madrid team back.
Deep, back to what they're like.
And so after 15 minutes, this is how deep the Real Madrid line became. Now that, for me, became a mistake, because by playing all those balls non-stop over the top, you've now negated your striker's strength, because Mane has got no space now to run in behind.
Yeah.
So I just felt tactically they did not have a good game plan, because what they done actually spoiled their game plan or their strength. And as you can see, I thought the main reason why Liverpool was so dominant, obviously their press was very good. Now, the reason why their press was so much more superior was because what was happening is Salah's coming in, and Trent was picking up Mendy. And it was brave of Liverpool to leave 1-on-1 in that area, and even Robertson was looking to press. So they're happy to leave 2-on-2.
But you know what? Fabinho was in a position, in a way, where that pass was blocked as well. So all the time.
But the point is, they're still looking to press, and they're still looking to pressure. And Mane's pressing is amazing, everyone knows. But that is why first half, in terms of the press, they were able to dominate the game, because ultimately the midfield is very narrow. Valverde, in the first 15 minutes, he was actually playing.
He's tucking in on.
He kept tucking in what they're trying to do was get him to tuck in and come in as the 10. When they realized that what that did effectively was even Robertson started to press Carvajal. If you look at the free kick, it's Robertson's pressing Carvajal. So then they realized, look, the actual space out is here, and you need to pin Robertson back, because that means they're committing an extra player to the press. So then they straight away adjusted Valverde's position, and he ended up playing like a right winger, and he stopped trying to come into the 10 to pick up the play. And the other main thing that I felt was helping Liverpool just cut Real Madrid open was how Modric and Cruz, they were doing reactive pressing, but that left Mane so much space around Casemiro, and Casemiro just couldn't pick it up. And then even when he got a bit better at
picking up
blocking Mane, Salah would pop in and pick it up. And then and the biggest problem is, look, Trent's revelation all season in attacking, but he just never had the composure today. A lot of time when the ball went there, or when even quite a few occasions Henderson was there, they had, you know, they kept creating the 3-on-2s because Vinicius wasn't dropping back.
No.
So they had a lot of those situations, but they didn't. They rushed the play. The composure wasn't there. Like you said, everything felt like really rushed and panicked instead of, you know, really concise. You got the extra players, you got the extra men, pick them apart.
Yeah.
And that composure just wasn't there. And a lot of times they created the 3-on-2s, overload on that first half, and they didn't make good use of it.
But what did Madrid change to get a bit more control back, and in terms of, you know, get the goal?
So again, so what they done is what they did against Chelsea in the second half, which at the time I thought, wow, that is so brave and intelligent of Ancelotti. And they did the exact same thing. And this is where, when you watch these top managers, you can, even as a coach myself, you can learn so much from them. And what I realized was, and it's really intelligent play, because what they did was, so Liverpool strength is pressing down the center areas, and then they're leaving man for man everywhere else.
Yeah.
So they play very brave, and they were winning the amount of times they're winning the ball back, all in the central zone. So what second half Real Madrid effectively did, and they did the exact same thing against Chelsea to beat the press of Chelsea's. In the first half, it was all Chelsea. Real Madrid couldn't get out. Yeah. Second half, Real Madrid was just opening up non-stop, and they took their first leg lead. Basically, effectively, they pushed the midfield out wide. So then what happens is Vinicius and them come up, obviously. But what's happened is now you got this problem of who's picking up Cruz and who's picking up, because they're going for the high press.
Yeah.
They haven't realized that now, you know, Modric and Cruz are playing really wide apart. So what happens is, so and this very tactic was the reason that they created the first goal, actually, because what happens is Robertson gets sucked into Modric, because he no longer knows who he's meant to pick up. So, and that was the problem. Now Trent doesn't know. So what happens is you got an out ball. So what was happening? The ball's going into Cruz and Modric. As soon as they come in, the 1-2 and the spacing for Vinicius is there, or the 1-2 and the spacing for Valverde is there.
And Konate or Van Dijk cannot get too tight, because obviously,
because they're outnumbering in the areas, because they've got no cover. They've got no cover. So and now this is the exact same tactic that undid Chelsea in the second half, in the first leg. Exact same tactic, and you have to say it's so smart, because if you notice that a team is too good in their press, how brave is it for you to actually have less people in the midfield? Because they're literally setting up Casemiro, and they're asking the back line, be brave, and hold that ball and get it into Cruz and Modric. You got less men to play in the midfield. You got more guys pressing at you. Have you got the composure to get it in? And then
the other thing is the two you're talking about, Modric and Cruz, are like the best at just taking that ball under pressure.
But now you look at the goal. The ball goes into Modric. Robertson picks him up. He dallies all the way into his own half, and now you've got the break. He plays a beautiful ball into Valverde, or was it
No,
Benzema?
it was into midfield, then into Casemiro. So it was into Casemiro. Casemiro played into Valverde.
Yeah. So again, look how brave that is. He's sucked in, and Casemiro's making the forward run. They're still being brave. They're still breaking.
Yeah.
But either way, what they've done is they've caught Fabinho on the hop, and they've got this situation where ultimately Robertson is in no man's land. Valverde is with Van Dijk. Van Dijk does so. I'm quite critical of Van Dijk for the goal.
But the run of Carvajal was also in his mind as well, wasn't it? Because Carvajal pushes up as well. He was behind.
Yeah, but Diaz was trying to cover that as well. So, but my thing is, once once a team is in and around your box, you have to close the man on the ball, because ultimately, especially when you're centre back, and the thing was actually Carvajal, even though he done the overlap, he went too early, so he was actually offside. So there's no reason for Van Dijk to keep trying to cover the run of Carvajal. If you go to the man on the ball, Carvajal's at the game because he's offside. But by trying to cover the run of Carvajal and and kind of try and make
trying to do a bit of both, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of But what's happened is you've forgotten the biggest thing is now there's not enough pressure on the man, and because of the run of Casemiro, Fabinho's out of position. So now for him, he nearly gets back into the picture. But by then,
Vinicius
is there, Trent is ball watching.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. But if you look at it, that is all started because of Modric picking it up in that pocket first, going all the way back. And that's the tactical change Ancelotti's done. And you have to rate that. And the reason why it is a bit more balanced second half was because they spread Kroos and Modric out, and they played a lot more braver. They had two basically they're playing like 10s to beat the press of Liverpool. And it's just really smart tactics, brave tactics. And it's the second time I've seen Race completely bamboozle the team, because everyone's thinking it's the same formation. No one's realizing that actually, no, they've actually changed the lineup, and they've gone effectively 5 and 5.
But once they're ahead, you just know what's going to happen. Oh my!
Yeah, and that's where the character of the team comes out.
It's just mad. It is mad. And like you said, I think you called at the beginning of the podcast. Once they go ahead, they are the best at seeing out a game.
And the thing is, I thought there is going to be more frustrating. I thought they're going to time waste and play act even more.
No, it did.
But they didn't. Other than Militao, which, I mean, you could tell he's a player with the screw loose. He's a bit of a actor. But he still had a performance and a half today. And the thing is, the biggest takeaway I took from that game was the difference is one team defended for their lives and the other team didn't.
I mean,
and you look at the attitude of the way Van Dijk and Trent are defending for that goal. Not one part of them was like, "This is the cup final. I'm gonna put my body on the line."
Yeah.
They were coasting. They're sitting off. They're ball watching.
Yeah.
And not once in the game did any Real Madrid player. They sprinted. They dived in. They blocked.
You can tell they're all on edge. They're all on edge.
Yeah. And then the one time, and when all of that don't work, they got a keeper just fully engaged, fully ready in the moment to bail his team out. And that's what happens when you have, when you have that many players doing their jobs. Half the decisions are made for the keeper because they're doing their jobs. They're blocking half the goal, so it makes it easier for Courtois to read what's going on. So just a phenomenal performance, richly deserved. Even though, you have to give credit to Liverpool's first half performance. You cannot begrudge this Real Madrid team. I mean,
this is the thing. You know what?
The adversity. And I'm in a way just happy for Ancelotti because, he was in the bottom half with Everton last season.
Yeah.
And it really was a head scratcher. For me, it's a head scratcher that what the heck is Florentino Perez doing?
Adil,
Taking Ancelotti back.
league double is that decision. That's what got them league double.
And yeah, and let's be honest, you know, for all the talk of Liverpool going for the quadruple and how amazing it is, a league and Champions League double is always worth, you
More
know,
than-
more than
yeah.
anything else, and
Yeah.
that's an amazing achievement. So, yeah, certainly, Ancelotti should get Manager of the Year, in my opinion. And Benzema should get the Ballon d'Or. I mean, what more can the guy do? 44 goals, but knowing that just turned up in the big moments.
And yeah, he literally, some of those games, it's actually him inspiring them. Like some of those goals were ridiculous and out of nothing.
And the thing is, it wasn't just in the, like, we've seen him inspire Real Madrid in the knockout stages of the Champions League, the most pressure. But if you go back to Real Madrid season, at the start of the season, when they weren't playing great and they're winning 1-0, Benzema was carrying Real Madrid in the league at the start of the season. For the first half of the season, it was literally just a one-man team. Benzema, every league game.
You and I, we're both advocates of the Premier League, and we both, like, so many times we said the best two teams in Europe are in the Premier League, but this Madrid team, when this Madrid team's in the Champions League, you know what? They always go.
Let's be honest. When we talk about the best two teams in terms of their setup, their system, their style, their structure, every player knowing what they're doing,
every aspect,
strength of squad, City and Liverpool are there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to character, when it comes to leaders on the pitch, this Real Madrid, you know, their players have cojones. That's what I'd say. Their players turn up. They're not afraid of the big moments, man. And you have to marvel at that. The character of those players. You know, you'd think that that's so much pressure to play for Real Madrid, so much pressure to carry that burden. And like you said earlier, 14 times, more than double than any other team, they've won the pinnacle of football, the Champions League. You know, five European Cups some of those players have had. Yeah. More than most clubs in Europe.
Yeah, you could say. Oh man, I mean, I think I don't need to do an ending, Adi. I think you just summed it up so well. I think you've done my job for me.
As I say, Hola Madrid.
For those of you watching, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and please let us know your views and what you thought about the game, about the final. And if you're a Liverpool fan, let us know.
I don't know Spanish, but I'm sure they're going to say Quintina, whatever 15 is. That's all you're going to hear now.
do let us know your thought of the final. I mean, it'd be great to see some insight into what the fans thought of the final. And look forward to seeing you soon. Adil, thank you as always, and well done, Madrid.